You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? That is the sound of silence. Wind blowing through the hills, water running in the stream beside us. That is the sound of Elm Creek County, which is where you join me, Simulation for the Nation, as we arrive at our new residence. Following a rough few months there where things haven't quite gone our way, we have found ourselves at the lowest of ebbs. We have very little money. We had to run away from and sell up our previous business there to pay for a lot of debts that we had occurred, and we were no longer able to keep what was once a very thriving agricultural business. Unfortunately, that means that we have next to nothing left. This shack once belonged to a great uncle of mine who used it to go hunting and fishing in the hills here of Elm Creek, but now it's going to be home. It's very basic, doesn't have many amenities, and it's also very, very isolated. This has been in the family for a while. Never really knew what to do with this area, so it's going to become my home. It comes with this tiny little plot of grass around here, which is really good for nothing. Needs a lot of work to solve that and to create something with this ground. But that all is something, well, we'll have to think about moving on down the line there. For now, though, the main thing is that I need to survive. Ultimately, we need to be able to fend for ourselves. We need to be able to feed ourselves. We need to be able to pay for bills and pay for costs of living, really, despite how low they may be in this shack. How are we going to do that? Well, I was able to salvage a couple of small bits of equipment from the business. Not much really of any value, to be honest. We walked away with this lot and a trailer to carry it on as well. This was a show tractor, really. We didn't use this for anything other than that. All of our tractors were very large. Nothing really for this one to do. But this is going to be my main land rig now. It's going to do everything for us. So we'll have to see how that turns out. We got a small self-propelled landscaping tool as well. So we can maybe get a little bit of this tidied up around here with a bit of mowing, perhaps, at the very, very least. And an old cultivator, again, a chisel cultivator. Not really much use to anybody except for me right now. So this is what we have. This is what we're going to be doing. I have a few planks of wood that I want to put some posts in the ground and kind of fence some of this off, just so we have a little bit of seclusion and a little bit of privacy here from that main road. And we'll have to figure out how that's going to look. But as you can see, money is not something I'm blessed with right now. We're not going to be able to spend lavishly on making a new yard here or buying a shed. We really need to think about how we're going to make anything out of this business. I don't own many power tools. I don't even own a chainsaw. I don't have any way of establishing myself. I've got my phone. I've got my ability to call people in the neighborhood and tout for business and ask around there, and my hard work and ethic. And that's all we're going to work with. So join me as we get ourselves set up. Let's get stuck into this. What we're going to do today is just take everything off here. And like I say, put up a little bit of a fence. Nothing fancy around here, just to give me an area in which I can hide all my equipment and park it up in there. Somewhere which is a little bit flat. Ideally, maybe on the hilltop here, but it might have to just be in this little lull here somewhere. But we'll figure out what that looks like and how we're going to do that. And then, yeah, we'll make this, get going with this, really. After that, well, we need to find some work to do. We need to go for a drive. We could perhaps even maybe... I mean, this grass isn't very good for anything. It's very stalky and it's full of weeds, so it's not really going to make anything for hay. But I wonder if anyone out there needs any help with anything. And ultimately, I have a little bit of money. I need to think about how we're going to invest that money. I have thought about trying to get some livestock of some description there. Even thought about beekeeping, but they all come with quite substantial startup costs and investment. And I don't know if I have that at the moment. I'm going to need to find something that returns some form of capital fairly quickly. So that's what we'll be looking into. I have a local newspaper with many different advertisements in there in the ag section for equipment. So we'll have to do a little bit of a looking around there over the coming days and just see what we can find. And I think that will be the best way to go. I know around here a lot of farmers are always looking for a good helping hand. And hopefully I am that helping hand. But I'm going to let you hear what this beast of an old machine sounds like. It's not quick. I can guarantee you that. We had a lovely, gentle cruise along the road at about 15 miles an hour. But what I can say is that it's in great condition. We really looked after this. We took this to a lot of shows on the back of a wagon. And it would quite often be part of an old setup there showing conventional and old-fashioned equipment for various different harvesting setups. And we would be taking this along with an old conventional baler. I loved it. Never once thought I'd have to be relying upon this to make my my living. But it's all working. It does exactly what we need to. Obviously, it is a little exposed to the elements, but we will make that work. But it sounds incredible. And we just need to find some very cheap, small second-hand equipment to fit it. So if you happen to know of anyone who is looking to get rid of anything, let me know. And I will see if we can strike up any form of a good price. I roughly got the equipment on the back there. It didn't really enjoy the ride over. It nearly shook itself loose on multiple occasions. But we're going to take the cultivator off the back there now anyway. And then we'll be in a position that we can get going after that, which will be great. Going where? I don't know. Just need to do something. We'll get a few panels put up around here, or some fence railing, or something that we can just separate this area away from everyone else so they steer well clear of it. I think that would be great. But let's just see if we can get this all connected. And there we go. I think that's just about in. Let's find out if we lift this up. Hey, there you go. Okay. I think I'm just going to keep it on the back of this for now. I don't even think I need to take it off. I mean, where am I going to go with it? So let's just stick this by the shed for now. I don't really think I can call this a house. It's always been a hunting shack. I think we'll keep it as the shack. But it will do. It's 4 walls and a roof. It will keep me out of the elements when they do inevitably arrive. And then there's just one more. We'll just unstrap this. So once upon a time, this was a very useful bit of equipment for us, really. We got into a few landscaping contracts, and we would use this along the side of highways just to keep everything tidy and any small little jobs. And there are a few attachments that I know of that you can get where you can really leverage this to do a lot of different things. Again, will it be useful for us in this scenario? I'm not sure, but it's handy to have anyway. And I was able to fortunately hide this from the evaluators when they were coming to sell all of our the business off. So yeah, we'll get some use out of that somewhere. I just don't know where that or what that will look like just yet, but we will find a way to use it. Right now though, let's see if we can find some way to get a fence up on this ground here and just see what that's going to look like for us and see how we can make it work. Well, folks, with a little bit of hard work and some very cheap looking wood, you know, we've managed to salvage it, really. There were a few bits inside the shack, but most of it I brought with me, to be honest. And it's not very great, but it's a start. It's a footprint. It's something that we can work with here. Will it keep anyone at bay from stealing anything? Absolutely not. Will it at least be an identification for me, or like a marker point to call home, or at least a setting up? Then yes, it will. We'll look to expand this when we can. Ideally, we don't really want to spend too much more money on just the basics around here. What we want to do is spend money on making sure that we can grow and we can become successful and we can at least survive. And that's where we need to go to. We are going to spend a little bit of time trying to canvass the area and see if there are any jobs that we can help out with. And then, well, from there, we'll just take it as it is. I'm going to go for a ride with the cultivator on as well, just see, or at least see if I can find any other work anywhere else there and show willing. There's a lot of larger fields around here. There's also a lot of smaller places to roam. The hills up there and the forests, there may be some great opportunities. I need to find myself a cheap chainsaw to buy, but there may well be some opportunities up there for some landscaping work as well, but we just don't know at the moment. Now I think what we will do though is just get everything kind of tidied up around here, really. Let's try out this mower, see how if it does any sort of a decent job on this ground. I'm sure it will. But then we will get ourselves off. I know of based off the advertisements in the local paper, there is a youngish farmer who needs a little bit of help with some cultivation work. So I'm going to go and pitch myself to him by rocking up in the tractor and seeing if we have any joy with it, really. Seeing if he is willing to give a slightly older guy with who's down on his luck, see if he's willing to give him a bit of a helping hand. Also looking to see if I can find any, perhaps any hens to maybe get a few eggs to start selling as well. See if we can do this, because that would be something that I think is a great opportunity, not only just to get a source of food for ourselves, but also to maybe start to get a little trickle of income coming in. And that's where it all starts after all. But yeah, this seems to be ticking along very nicely indeed. And hopefully we'll be able to find... I know there were some other attachments available. I'm sure you can still find them out there somewhere. I just don't know where we need to look for those. But we'll do our best to find them. And we'll do our best to bring them along for the journey. Please do comment with any suggestions that you may have as to how we can improve and how we can start to really establish ourselves here. If you have any great ideas of locations that we may be able to go to, either find some cheap equipment or even find some work, I would be very interested to hear about that. But yeah, you can see that this is looking a lot better. Actually, a fair bit of grass in here. I wonder if it's actually worth trying to mow a little bit more of this grass down. And at least if it doesn't do anything else, it ties it all up and gets the weeds under a bit of control. But I don't know if that will, I can get that baled up or sell it at all. I'm not sure if it'll be any good for that. I'm not really in a position to have any good connections with any local plant hire companies, so I can't lease anything at the moment. It's always going to have to be things that I can buy. So that makes adds another element to a little wrinkle to my current situation. So we'll have to figure that one out. Yeah, and we'll get this. At least I can get into my apartment there and get into the... Knock that off and get into the shed nice and easily. All right. A little bit of space to work with there, I guess. Let's jump back on into the tractor. Now, if I had it on my map, bring up the map on my tablet here so you can see what we're looking at. This is the area of property that we have right here, and it splits down the line around about here. Now, we don't own anything else other than this. This, like I said, was originally bought. My granddad and my great uncle put a hunting shack on here, and there's always ideas at one point to build the large retirement country home on here, but that never materialized. We kept the property in the family though. Unfortunately we did, because I was able to escape to it and to re-establish myself here and start from the ground up again. So that's what we'll be doing. Now I know, according to the local newspaper there, that we need to go and check in with the farmer in the north here to see what he's got to offer for us and see if we can pitch ourselves to him to perhaps take on some work. So let's go and see if that's going to happen. Oh, there's a squeaking fan belt there already. That's not an ideal start to things. Let's pull ourselves into forward there. So we will get ourselves very much away. And we'll see if we can pitch ourselves successfully to get some money here. So we'll have to go and find out what that looks like. I hope we do. And I will let you know how that goes in due time. But yeah, I would like to bring you along for the ride here, see how we are able to progress, if we are able to progress, and just exactly what that will look like. I'm not sure how many different diary updates there will be, but we will see. Hopefully there'll be a lot of interest there. Despite my great uncle bringing his hunting shack up here, there weren't many fish in that river, and he didn't have much luck with any wildlife in the woods up there, because not long after he came in, some of the trees were felled down and fields were established. So not the best of luck running there, but I'm fortunate that we still have this location. Oh, get over there. I also don't have much diesel, so I've got to be very careful with what that looks like if I am lucky enough to take on any contracts at any point. Diesel will have to be factored into the equation here as well. Ooh, there's a little maze up there. We'll have to go and have a saunter around, I fancy. Okay, now, where is the farmhouse? I think it's this fella up here, actually. Oh, come on, old girl, find the gear. There you go. It's the first time this thing has been used hard in quite some time, and I think it's beginning to feel it. So what we're going to do is stop at this man's driveway. Hopefully we haven't disturbed him too much. And we're going to go find out if he is willing to give a random stranger with a hard-working appetite a bit of a helping hand here and some support to get going. To find out if we're successful, tune in next week. Bye now.